we're going to start to hone in on some of these divisions in the National Football League. And we start off today, Sam, with a bet that you like right now, that you think people should act sooner rather than later. And that's on the AFC East. When you look at the division odds right now at BetMGM, it is the Bills minus 275. Now, I do see it as cheap as minus 230 out there, but Bills the heavy favorite. Not sure where the competition comes from because you've got Miami and New England, both the win totals 8.5. They would have to have a surprising year if they're going to compete with Buffalo. Miami plus 550 to win the division, New England plus 600, and then your long shot at 16-1, the New York Jets with Justin Fields at quarterback.
Very exciting division, except it's not because Buffalo's going to win it running away. I don't like to put a lot of money in these bets in May. I'll diversify by the time I get through July and into August because I will be going to Vegas as I do every August, signing up for contests and making some bets. I will have the Bills wheeled with several things. So rather than just make a big bet on Buffalo at minus 250, I will parlay. One of the parlays is Bills to win the East and Clemson to win the ACC. It's a bet where I like my chances. I'd be stunned if the Bills didn't win this division. And then I'm really high on Clemson this year, which we'll talk college football at the end of the show. College football, huge conversation around Memorial Day. People are ready for college football, so I can't wait to talk about that. But Buffalo, I have them favored in 16 out of 17 games. They have the highest win total in the league in the sense that their over is the most expensive to go over 11.5. There's a handful of teams that have win totals 11.5, but the Bills are minus 160, minus 170 to go over. So they are the most expensive team, I guess, in the win total market.
Mm-hmm.
How many division losses do they have? If I made the number 1.5, what would you do with it?
I would go over. Damn it. No, I mean, they're probably going 7-1 in the division. So it's going to be tough. Like, what are the
6 games? 6 games.
Oh, yeah. 5-1. Right. Yeah, no, I can't say over 1.5. I can't.
They could lose in Miami. There's always weird things that happen in Miami. Fine.
That does happen. That's one.
Not losing to the Jets and Justin Fields.
Either time.
And look, the Patriots are becoming one of the trendiest teams this offseason. They're already pumped about it here in Boston. Oh, Vrabel's going to fix the culture. Vrabel's going to take them to the playoffs. Okay. Do we know what Drake May is yet? He showed flashes with the Patriots. They took him, second overall. Obviously, there's potential there. Did they really give him enough weapons? Did they add enough protection? They got better on defense. A lot of additions via free agency on defense. The caveat there is when you pay for free agents, you usually overpay. They gave Milton Williams a lot of money in free agency, and that's not the only guy that maybe got more money than I think the market expected. Defensively, fine. They'll be better. I don't know that the offense is going to take that next step. And again, this is a team that won 4 games last year. 4. Now we're going to make the win total 8.5. So you got to win 9. That's a 5-win hike on last year. I think fundamentally, foundationally, they're better.
Yes.
But to ask that to happen in one offseason is a big ask.
You double that win total, you're still short. And they know that. That's why it's sitting at 8.5. That's why they just threw the same with the Dolphins. Okay, so, yeah, it's going to be better. But how much better? That's what kind of a leap are we talking about? They also have 10 new starters, Sam. So you have new coaching staff, 10 new starters. On offense, that's your question. How much of a jump can they make? I think a big jump. Let's say, can they get to the middle of the pack? because that would be a big jump. I think they can. Now, those 5 new starters on offense, 5 new starters on defense, let's talk about them a little bit. Of course, on the line, you've got Will Campbell. He's going to help them a ton. That's going to be good. Receiver, yeah, they probably overpaid for Diggs, but they were going to have to overpay for a receiver. They also bring in Mac Hollins, a guy that big dude makes some plays for Buffalo. I liked him there a lot. So the 2 additions, not bad. You also bring in the veteran Bradbury to play center. So he's going to be next to the rookie in Campbell. And I don't think it's a great signing because he's bouncing around the league. And after injuries at this point in his career, Moses Morgan. But you've got 3 new starters on that offensive line. You know this, that it takes time. You can't just throw a new group together, 3 new guys on an offensive line, and they were making so many changes throughout the year last year due to injuries where it's going to gel immediately. That will take some time, maybe a month or 2 before things get going. Now, the defense strong to begin with. They do have 5 new starters there. We know Vrabel is going to be certainly focused on that side of the ball. But you're right. The question is offensively. Just expecting this to happen week 1, I think that's a big ask with all new coaches and a lot of new personnel.
And just reinvent the wheel. Josh McDaniels back in the saddle on offense.
Right.
It never, I don't want to be harsh to the guy, but it never really quite worked out without Brady, did it? Did his offenses ever work without the greatest quarterback of all time?
Mm-mm.
Nah. So, all right, let's see what you can do with Drake May. That's your new challenge. That is everything right now. What do you do with Drake May? And how do you get him to the next level? It's not easy with these young quarterbacks, man. It's just not. There are ups and there are downs. And it does feel like the offense just got a big Band-Aid over a cut. You got Stephon Diggs, you got Mac Hollins, you kind of mangled together an offensive line. I do like the draft. I think Will Campbell's going to be a really good player, and I like Henderson. I know you do too at running back.
Mm-hmm.
But you're talking about a lot of new guys and a lot of rookies to rely on offense, and you have to have that ability to score, 24, 27 points to beat Buffalo. So, I'm looking at it not exactly what is New England's ceiling, but can New England's ceiling top Buffalo? My answer is no. It feels like this is a layup for the Buffalo Bills. So I'm going down the board right now. The Bills to win the East, parlayed with the following things. Clemson to win the title. That is about 218 ACC title. So plus 218. If you don't want to do Clemson, let's go down to the Big Ten. How about the Bills to win the East and Oregon to win the Big Ten? That is over 4-1. And if we want to go down to, say, the SEC and pick a team like Texas, let's go the Bills to win the East, Texas to win the SEC. That's plus 384. So I am taking my minus 260 range bet and hooking it with other plus money bets to explode the odds. That's what I will be doing July and August on Buffalo. I'll bet it straight, sure, but I'm also going to parlay it with a bunch of other things. And if I can find a book or two that will take some award bets, I'll be doing some Bills to win the East with this player to win the Heisman, just to kind of explode the board and put myself ideally in a good spot down the road.
But you're putting the Bills in a lot of stuff. That's
a lot.
That's the story. Bills.
It's my bet of the offseason.
Yeah,
it's my bet of the offseason, and I want to bet it in a variety of ways.
Are we just ignoring Miami? I'm not saying to win the division. I'm saying just in any conversation. They have the exact same win total as New England. And guess what? New England, 8.5. It's minus 110 on both sides over at BetMGM. The Miami 8.5 is juiced to the under, minus 155. All the weapons are still there. Now A-Chain, he's the man. He took over last year, was amazing when he was healthy. So have Tua, Tyreek, Waddle. We had another offseason where they're trying to fix that weak offensive line. They bring in James Daniels to play guard. They drafted a rookie to play guard as well. So a couple of changes going on there. They do need an upgrade there. But all the chatter is about Buffalo and New England. Nobody talking about Miami. And they have a lot of the same dudes. Are they being overlooked?
Um, you could argue that for sure. I
Yeah.
I think he's one of the hottest coaches, hot seat wise, in the league. Mike McDaniel.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you go 9-8 year one, make the playoffs, lose. Next year you go 11-6, make the playoffs, lose. Last year 8-9. A lot of coaches, yeah, third, fourth year, that's it for a lot of them. So if they fall flat this year, he's probably out of a job. They've just gotten so soft as a team. They don't play with that toughness that I think a lot of people would have liked to see. You saw it early, and then you didn't see it a lot last year. I mean, they just got pushed around on the line of scrimmage. I I will not be buying Miami stock. So
Yeah.
am I looking past them a little bit? Maybe, but I don't have any stock on Miami. Um, I'd rather bet the Patriots over than the Dolphins.
I'm looking at their road games late. That warm weather team going to cold cities. December, they do go to the Jets. They go to Pittsburgh for Monday Night Football. Last week of the year, they go to Foxborough. That's a tough hand that they got from the schedule makers. So you can understand why more people seem to be interested in the Patriots. And then, with the Jets, we can laugh at them, say they're bad. They are. Justin Fields is a quarterback. That's not going to be good. They got Membu to play tackle. They still got Brees Hall, Garrett Wilson. They came out on the other side of the Aaron Rodgers saga, keeping their star players that kind of sounded like they wanted to leave. I have no idea what to expect from Aaron Glenn as a head coach. I'm not sure, Sam. How about you?
I don't know. I think they should be better
Yeah.
defensively, but they were pretty good with Salah until he left. I mean,
Right.
defense wasn't the issue. The issue was quite literally the quarterback, right? So, defense should
Now it's
be
Fields.
fine. I don't. Yeah, I just don't think you're better on offense. Um, but every conversation runs through Buffalo here, and I
Mm-hmm.
think the conversation in Buffalo is very interesting because they know they're good enough to win the East. They know it. They've had a stranglehold on this division. What they want in Buffalo is the real title. They want a Super Bowl. Because if you ask an odds maker in Vegas, he'll tell you that Buffalo is either one or two in power ratings. The guys go back and forth on Baltimore, Buffalo, and they have for some time now. The problem is Mahomes is better than anybody with the game on the line in the playoffs. Buffalo doesn't want to hear about 12 wins, 13 wins. Buffalo
Nope.
wants to go to a Super Bowl, and Kansas City keeps stopping that from happening.